Hi, Taurus. Taurus. Thank you for being patient with me. You're actually pretty patient. um, this is your July, August 2019 tarot reading, part one. I think I'm going to use I don't know why is the Morgan Greer here. I'm going to use the Morgan Greer. Thank you, Rider Waite. You have done some wonderful things. For this month, I'll come back to you probably. Oh, yep, and it's a three. So, yep, definitely this one because the three represents the Empress, which is Venus and Libra and Taurus energy. Second part of the reading, which will be the part two that you haven't seen yet, will be used, will be laid, okay, and weighed with the radiant Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Now that there's Rider Waite and Oracle of the Radiant Sun, I'm like, look at your energy. I mean, it's not a bull, but it's an earth animal, and it's a slow moving one. Okay. All right, Morgan Greer, you was talking. So let's get into it, Taurus. Don't forget to take advantage of the 20 for 20 sale that I have going on for the rest of Cancer season, possibly July. It's a appreciation for the viewers and providers out there, as I like to call you. Let me shuffle these cards for Taurus, July, August 2019. July, August 2019. Work. I was thinking about this. I'm gonna do cause and effect, which this is the first cause and effect I've done for this month, perhaps. I'm not really sure. I think so. If I have done one, it's only been one other. Okay, so at the bottom of the reading, you have the Hermit. The Hermit is talking about, wisdom and age, and it's also talking about two sides of a situation. You might be dealing with, this might be your energy, you know what I mean? Or you might be dealing with wanting something to come to a completion, or you might be wanting to come to an understanding about something that you were aware of, right? And it's almost like you might even be trying to finish a project. There might be some things that you need to close, sell, get rid of. You might even need to donate some clothes. This is talking about, your body and putting more consideration into what you put in your body, what you eat. You guys might even be trying to achieve a certain body weight, or you might be trying to get like to a certain like waistline size or something, or you might be measuring like your arms and stuff as you're working on your fitness, because Mercury does rule the respiratory system, and Virgo, which Mercury rules, maybe Gemini rules respiratory system, but Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury also rules Virgo. I feel like her is downtime. There's situation. I feel like there's off because you might just retrograde. I feel like it's helping you figure some things out. And I feel like you'll come out of it feeling renewed, or you'll come out of it with a resolution for sure, whatever it is. And I feel like that's what you're trying to achieve, a resolution. You're trying to get something done. You're trying to complete something, satisfy something. You might even be trying to satisfy the needs of the business of money and finances and managing money, that type of thing. You might even be going and looking at the details of, a process that might Now let's flip over the card that's in the center of your read. Now that you've gone in and seen the details of a situation, you can now share the details of those situations or the details of that in a way where other people will be receptive to it, and you have a very thoughtful way of processing your perspective and getting your message heard. And discovery, it might have even been a mistake that could have cost something, big. No way I'm going to get through two readings with it acting like this, right? But I'm patient and you're patient, right? So, the challenge, right? The immediate influence that's coming in is your mind. Okay, so it is Mercury. This Mercury retrograde might be getting to you in a little bit because it's in your third house of communication, right? Because if Taurus is your first house and Gemini is your second house, especially if you're a Taurus rising, okay, then Cancer is going to be your third house of communication. So you might be having some communication problems with like the mother because the Queen of Swords does represent that mothering energy, right? It is related to the Empress, which the Empress, she rules the threes and she also rules the queens, okay? And the eights are all related to Mercury in a sense, and this is an eight of swords. This is Jupiter and Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. And this is talking about taking, a time to smell the roses and, or take off the rose colored glasses, really. That's what this is saying. You might be giving away your power because you're allowing the weak points in your mind to sort of like, take over. It's kind of like your belief in those things are greater than the belief in what is actually true. You know what I mean? Because Gemini gets involved in a lot of things and it gets a lot involved in a lot of connections and a lot of talk, so it actually even be missing details because you're looking at so hidden things because it's related to the eighth house as well. So you're missing the point with something because you're not allowing yourself to see what's really going on. It's also denial, right? You're challenged by the denial of someone perhaps. It could be somebody that might be having these power struggles of the mind, right? And that's why they're in denial. Or you could be clearing up the denial, right? You clearing up the denial, or this could be you being challenged by the denial of another person, right? And their inability to see things clearly. Or, this could be you because this is the Queen of Swords here as your energy, bam. And then, you're crossed here by the energy of the swords as well. So it could be definitely you feeling like you are in denial about something, or you might be challenged by the denial of someone else, right? Someone else might be denying you and they're using their power to do that. And you feel challenged by, that. Because sometimes when we feel like we are not accepted or we're not. Received in the way that we want to be received, then, that can make us feel a little bit powerless. You're dealing with the Taurus in love. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like you definitely might be getting the best of yourself because you are going to these extremes of the mind, right? Because the eighth house is a house of extremes as well. It's ruled by Scorpio, and this is also related to the strength card. So you have to use the strength of your mind, right? The power of your mind. It's talking about strength and power and courage of the mind, right? To really understand who you are, what you're you are out of you don't have any control in a situation. You might be obsessing about the level of control that you have or don't have in a scenario. um, you might even be feeling like you're plagued by the thought of something not being dealt with or something not being fixed or done, and you might be anxious to get something done, right? Because this is a card of anxiety, right? They want something to happen or want to see something happen. You know what I mean? For sure. Okay, so let me go ahead and flip over the card at the bottom of the reading that is sort of like the energy that you've already been working with. the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is understanding and having the inspiration, right? To feel okay. So what makes you feel secure, right? Think about that. What is it that makes you know and feel secure, right? About yourself, right? What makes you feel secure about yourself? Is it money? Is it things? Is it friends? Is it, a strong foundation? Is it a good relationship with your mother? You know what I mean? This could even be like, um, butting heads with the mother or having a challenging relationship with the mother. There could be like an offense here. This is Sun in Capricorn, and this talks about money as well. You could be trying to strengthen your foundation, your financial foundations, right? You could be blocking yourself, some of you could be blocking yourself off from, the possibilities because you are so comfortable, the fourth house, right? You're so comfortable with the way things have been and the way things are. It's a four, Emperor, Aries, I am, the way things are, the way things have been to be. You know what I mean? And you are existing in a state of stagnation, right? Because you're not allowing yourself to be open. You've closed yourself off to whatever it is coming to you based on what it is that you want, right? You're not you've closed off even your view, right? Because this is also, it's building a wall too, because 4 points make a square, right? Or some kind of plane, okay? And that can be put up. That's a sheet that's being put up, right? I feel like, you know, you might be aware of the financial challenges that you face as well. So you could be preventing yourself from being too hasty with your spending. You know what I mean? You could be trying to take it easy with your spending because it is a retrograde. You know what I mean? Um, for some of you Taurus risings, depending on where your rising starts in Taurus, part of your first house is going to be Gemini, okay, and that is the ruling planet. That's the ruling sign. That's the sign that Mercury rules, okay, and so that has a little bit to do with what's going on there for those of you who have, Gemini in your first house as the second part of your first house, because the second house is going to have Gemini in there, right? And Mercury rules Gemini, so there's going to be some issues with money and finances or things, just a slowdown, because this is talking about a slowdown or a halt, right? There might have been some money, or there might have been something that you were going to rely upon that's not going to be given to you, that type of thing, because this is also giving and receiving, right? And it's also nurturing something and security. But this is the opposing energy of the fourth house. This is the 10th house, right? Capricorn rules the 10th house. But the sun in the 10th house is actually very good. You know what I mean? Because sun in the 10th house is bringing focus to, your business skills, right? Your entrepreneurship, the way that you use your authority to restrict yourself in ways to bring about more security in the future. You know what I mean, right? So it's almost kind of like you're kind of setting yourself up so that you don't have to experience any inconsistencies or something like that. You know what I mean? But then some of you may have set yourself up to not experience inconsistencies, and really the inconsistency is just something that you aren't used to, that you're naming an inconsistency, or you feel like it's going to be an inconsistency, therefore you're like not open to it because you don't want it to change whatever it is that you've already like set in place. You know what I mean? Anyway, because this, I'm going to continue. A lot of messages. Okay, yeah, completion of something. I'm not even gonna go there. No, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it because I already flipped it over and I talked about completion of something. But you don't know what that card is, so I'm just gonna leave that until I get to the end. Let me get to the air placement. Okay, so the first card is sort of like the cause. The second card is the effect. The first card is the, the initiation, and then the second card is the reaction. Okay, High Priestess. Wow. So this is talking about, something being revealed and then you making a choice based on what that information tells you about what has been revealed. There's something here, yeah, because this is in your air placement and this is in the mind. These are processes of the mind, consistencies in your state of happiness or some inconsistencies in your mind. You know what I mean? This is talking about, you feel like you might be thinking that you maybe have made a sacrifice, right, somewhere, but I think that you are hopeful, right, because you're making a connection, you're drawing a line that this sacrifice is going to open up something for you, right? It's almost like you made this sacrifice before it was going to really show its effective results. You may have like surrendered to something, this is yin and yang energy as well. I would definitely go because it's black, which is talking about, definitely hidden things, right? And then it's white, which is talking about, things sort of like coming to light. It's the darkness and the light, and it's also a feeling of balance. Whatever it is that's going to be revealed to you is going to make you feel more balanced again. This is also, the moon. It's the moon, it's Neptune, and it's Venus. But mainly being, Pisces, the moon and Neptune have a very deep, close tie to Pisces. So, this could also be, you probably trying to escape the thought patterns in your mind. You could be drinking more, you know what I mean? You could be just kind of like escaping, right? Finding ways to escape whatever it is that you've been worrying about, because there's definitely some mental worry here, right? It's also saying that you need to use your creativity, right? Use the ways that you are able to create beautiful things, make beautiful things, do beautiful things, you know what I mean? It also talks about art. Maybe you need to go out and see like something, a play, some dance. Maybe go to a music festival or go to like a concert, because that also talks about creativity and art as well. You know what I mean? It's not just kind of like sitting at an easel and painting something, but maybe that's something you need to do. Um, this also talks about a relationship because it's a two and it talks about sharing and relating as well. I feel like you might be going through a relationship with somebody what they might be going through or what they might be thinking. Okay, yeah, so this is definitely you using your intuition. Your intuition is sort of being illuminated, like your crown chakra. Wow, you have a lot of major arcana cards. I'm just gonna flip everything over because I have to get moving. Um, because I'm going to work. I'm going to read today, and I'm Shanti from 12 to 4, and then I'm gonna go to a barbecue event in Queens to read a few people there, and then I'm bring my ass back home. Um, but you got the sun next to the high priestess, and the sun is bringing positive energy, right? So, because you're using your intuition and because you are being smart about making the connections, right, and drawing lines, and also, just being a little bit more, aware, right, of things. You make the connections. It's things that people don't see. It may be things that people aren't talking about because you are using your intuition. You're allowing yourself to kind of go with your gut. That is going to bring you some good news. That is going to bring you some vitality. That is going to bring you something that is going to make you feel more alive. You're going to be having more fun, and I said something about a relationship too. So if you guys are dealing with a relationship that you're thinking about, or somebody might be sparking some interest, then there are going to be some things that you're going to uncover that are going to be shown to you. This is also kind of like, feeling proud about yourself and who you are. You know what I mean? Because you made this connection or because you were able to listen to your intuition. You know what I mean? And because of that, you can celebrate, right? You're like, I made the best decision for me. You know what I mean? I did what was right for me. You know what I mean? You don't. The sun is also talking about energy. You know, what are you pouring energy into, and pour some energy into your ideas of creativity. I talked about creativity before I flipped over the sun card, but the sun is creativity, and Pisces is definitely talking about creativity. You know what I mean? So there's some things that you've been having an inkling to do, or that you've been feeling like you wanted to do, because the sun definitely does. And I think that you're going to get an opportunity to do those things. You're going to get a moment to shine. This is also talking about, your moment. The sun is the moment, right? I also think that, it's saying that there might be something that's going to happen for you over the summer, right? Because the sun is sort of like a symbol of the summer. And there's going to be something that presents itself to you, right? And it's kind of like something that you may have not been searching for. Okay, so that's good. Um, in your emotions, I feel like you probably have let go of something that you were emotionally attached to, or that you were probably codependent on emotionally. You had like an expectation of something, and I feel like because you had those expectations, there was an overwhelming sense of, you know, the strain of the commitment. The commitment was strained because of the over expectations, or because of the codependent, right? The codependency. The devil is also talking about time, and maybe things having their time, or time being up with something. This is also talking about tackling those demons, tackling those emotional demons that you experience, and the things that make you feel like you can't do stuff. Because the devil is, he makes you feel like, there's only one way, or this is the only way that it's going to be, or this is the way that it has to be. Because the devil is Saturn, it's also Capricorn, and this is like, the energy of feeling like the domination of something, right? Feeling like, feeling like you're also in someone else's domain, right? And I feel like, for people that are free spirited, or people that are lighthearted, or people that kind of like don't just get in there and do the work because they're told to, or what I mean, just falling in line. You know what I mean? I feel like you don't want to fall in line with something. I feel like you don't want to compromise your freedom as well emotionally. You don't want to compromise your freedom in a relationship. You don't want to compromise your freedom of like, um, optimism. It's almost like something might have been even taking away your optimism, right? Because the devil definitely takes away the optimism of the fool. Look at that. Hello? This person has no business going towards this, right? So if there's a business, if there's a boss, if there's a job, or there's a career or professional, colleague, or somebody that you outsource from, or any of that, then maybe it doesn't seem like it's actually the right thing. The devil could be you walking into this. This could also be you walking into your bossness. You know what I mean? Because and it could be, right, you're walking into your bossness as well, but that's because the devil energy made you feel so held back, or so restricted, or so tied down, or so just the weight. It's kind of like lead chains around your ankles, you know what I mean, or whatever that is, just bricks, cinder blocks. It's heavy, and the devil just really wants to like focus on you and what you're doing, so they can prevent you from doing anything that they don't want you to do. You know what I mean? So you definitely need to free yourself from this devil energy. Those of you who aren't going into the devil energy as executives or bosses. The devil also is talking about, misgoverning of things, right? Misjudging a situation, and finding yourself there, and being like, how did I get here, right? And you want to free yourself from that too, right? Because the fool is definitely optimistic, right? It's looking at all of the choices that life has, right? That's why it's a zero, because it's everything, right? Everything is everything. And the fool, he can The fool is a fool only because he's optimistic and he has faith that things can change at any moment, because it's Uranus. The fool is Uranus, and Uranus is talking about stepping outside of the box, making a change, right? The disruption of something that was consistent and constant and that was slow, not changing. You know what I mean? It's a six as well, so it could be related. It's related, the devil is 15, so it's a six, so it's related to the lovers. You know what I mean? And the lovers is talking about, um, connections, beautiful connections, right? Uh, um, cohesiveness, uh, comprehending, understanding, giving and taking. And this is just kind of like taking and getting, right? And it's like you get what you take, right? You get what you give, but you also get what you take. So, somebody could just be, being a bit of an asshole in terms of your emotions or in terms of your feelings. This could also be the home. You might want to move. You might want to change homes, right? Because the this is the water placement that's talking about home, family, emotions, relationships, just also what's hidden in your spirit as well. Um, you know, you might even be feeling burdened by success, right? Because sometimes we're burdened by the success we have, and sometimes we're burdened by the success we want. You know what I mean? And that could also be what this is as well. Because the eighth house rules shared resources, and shared resources are opposite the second house, which is you. You know what I mean? So, and that's your house of relationships, your eighth house. So you could be challenged by, you could be challenged that you may not know because it's hidden, that you might be challenged by a relationship that you're in denial about. Okay. And I feel like, the fool is just saying, because this is the effect, the result is you starting anew, right? Not necessarily starting a new relationship, but you're sort of like changing something, or you coming out of something that made you feel like, not good, or it wasn't best for you. You just kind of wanted to free yourself from something, get out of something. Like somebody was always watching you, like you couldn't do what you. How much time have we been on? Okay, that's pretty good. um in your work placement, Taurus, you have the five of cups, or in the earth placement you have the five of cups and you have the king of pentacles. The fives are talking about challenges and commitments, right? And we face challenges when we experience disruptions within the things that we've committed ourselves to, or the things that we believed in or have believed in at one time. This could be you believing in a job, or believing in a relationship, because the fives are talking about commitments. And sometimes when you commit yourself to something, then a relationship grows out of that thing. The fives are also talking about what you allow yourself to believe, right? um, and it's also talking about, what you believe changing, because different things are going to happen in your life that are going to challenge you in different ways than they have before. That's always going to happen. You know what I mean? And that's why the five is, the five, the fives are related to the Hierophant, which is Taurus, which is your energy. And then it's also related to the fifth house, which is Leo, which is another fixed sign, right? And you could have you Taurus could have experienced, something with a Leo or a Scorpio, right? Because this is Mars and Scorpio is your house of relationships, and the fifth house is, the house of romance, and it's also the house of, just like friends and family, and like that type of thing. So this could have been like somebody that was like friends with your family within in your relationship. Somebody that you were committed to had close ties to your family, and maybe you might be resenting that has been destabilized. You know what I mean? Because this is a destabilization of your emotions, right? And Mars and Scorpio is also talking about revenge, and it's just kind of like not revenge, like I want to do something to that person. It's just kind of like wanting something to happen, or wanting something to pay, or wanting to make a connection to understand why something happened. You know what I mean? This can also get you into a place of wanting to, driving yourself crazy emotionally, and also obsessing over something that you couldn't do anything about because it was out of your control, right? And that's what life is too. Life is out of your control. You're always taking a risk whenever you're going, whenever you exist, whenever you, because and this is your existence. It's all part of your existence, this feeling. You know what I mean? And this could be in a job that you wanted, that you thought you were going to get, perhaps, or this could have been something that you were already doing, right? um, and you probably saw that it was something that you could have done for, you know you could have gotten comfortable with, and maybe you were too comfortable with something, right? And that thing had to be changed or disrupted, right? um right, destruction, because like if theory is creativity, right, the three cups right here, okay, and then that's destruction as well. There, let me get you in the dark. There you go. And then it's like, but there's something here to be understood. There's something here to be like, there's a line to be drawn. There's a connection that you need to make. There's something that's trying to be revealed through this hurt, or through this pain, or through this disappointment. This could be in money, or like something that you were going to get, right? You could be feeling disappointment, right? And as a result of that, there's this, or because of the disappointment, or because of that challenge, because of what you were facing, that is no longer, because this is also talking about a little baby death, right? Because it's talking about transformation. You need to pull yourself out of the thing that you were relying upon, right? Because the fives talk about things that we rely upon as well, structures, okay, institutions that we rely upon, and that's jobs, that's school, those are mentors, people that might be older than us, or people that we feel like we respect because of what the things that they do, and we feel like they influence us. That's the fives as well. You know what I mean? um, Absolutely. A relationship could have ended because there were different belief systems, or there were different, patterns of spirituality, perhaps. Um, it may have lacked the depth that you have wanted it to. Maybe a job lacked the depth that you wanted it to. Um, some of you are resenting like some choices that you may have made in career, right? Or a choice that you made in terms of your career. Um, Whatever loss you're feeling, you're going to come out of it feeling stronger. You're going to gain some wisdom and some perspective, and you're going to begin to understand what was happening in terms of manipulation. I'm getting the word manipulation. So there was some sort of manipulation, probably from this King of Pentacles person, right? This is actually you, right? Maybe you were manipulating a situation, or maybe you were being manipulated in a situation. It could go both ways, okay? There's duality, it's yin and yang. But the King of Pentacles is, it's gained some perspective of how to deal with people, how to deal with money, how to deal with gains and losses. You know what I mean? So if Scorpio is talking about shared resources, and the second house is talking about things that you own, that you have like you know that you've received, because the moon is exalted in Taurus, things that you have brought in, right? Things that make you feel secure as well. Um, I'm getting that thing needed to be taken out, or that thing needed to be destroyed. That thing needed to be ended. There needed to be a little ruin there, right? There's something that was taken away from you that you probably really was like, you were really like into, but it was like not really meant for you. You know what I mean? Something had to change. Something had to end, and it's going to be for your own good. You're going to be getting back to you, right? You're going to be feeling like yourself again. You know what I mean? Because this is Taurus. This is fixed Earth. right? Look at that. And this is in your earth position, and you are an earth sign. So, whatever it is that's been plaguing you and your emotions, whatever it is that you've been feeling emotionally weak over, it's all right. You're going to be feeling stronger again because this is also relationship, because this is Taurus and this is Scorpio. I don't know how this turned into a relationship reading. You know what I mean? Or partially, right? Scorpio, Taurus. The Scorpio probably ended things, or this is a Scorpio feeling bad about things not being right, right? Or this is, this is what happened as a result of someone that ended something for you that may not be a Scorpio. It could be any water sign or anybody that has, an eighth house placement. They could be a rising, you know, Scorpio or whatever. Um, And this Taurus card is just talking about taking responsibility, right? Being held, being able to be reliable, and being held accountable, right? That's you, right? You just want to get back to a place of relying upon yourself and not relying upon other people, because when you rely upon other people, then you basically are just like taking a chance that something could happen, right? I mean, but we need to be able to rely on other people, but rely on people that you can trust, right? That have shown you. Yeah, this is the ending of something, right? It's the end of the passion, right? The passion or the energy may have like come out of something. You know what I mean? With a person, with a friendship, with something that you were doing, right? Something creative. Um, but some good cards did pop out for you. Like the Three of Cups came out, and that's Mercury in Cancer. The Mercury retrograde in Cancer is going to be there, probably in your second house. Some of you it's going to be in your third house. Second house is talking about earned income, finances and things that you bring in for yourself. Um, Also, think your thought process might be changing. You might be going over the way that you've been doing things, or the way that you've been thinking, or the way that you've been your concepts, or just the way that you've been allowing yourself to let things slide, perhaps. Also, you need to just kind of like learn to appreciate yourself and what you have to offer a little bit more, and not rely on the acceptance of others to make you feel like you are worthwhile. You know what I mean? You are worthwhile. You know what I mean? And your success too. There's ebb and flow. There's ups and downs. When you experience financial decline, or a little speed bump financially, or something like that, because this is a speed bump. It's a serious one, but it's one that you're going to get past. You can get past that, and that's what Scorpio teaches us, so we can be strong and get past things. Taurus does teach us that too. These are two very strong signs. You know what I mean? Or strong cards, strong energies. Taurus is very strong. It's a bull. Um, Little bull horns there, and that's grapes. Okay, so this is like that's fertility as well. That's things sort of like building up. Your finances are going to build up again. If you've been worried about money, they're going to build up again. This is kind of like being able to save up, stack coins, because grapes are an aggregate fruit, and an aggregate is like a coming together, right? It's things that uh, it's like individual things in a clump, right, together. So it's packed. So I'm getting that you're gonna be feeling like your pockets are gonna be packed again for some of you guys. Or you're gonna be able to replace money that you feel like you lost due to whatever, maybe a bad business deal, or maybe just some losses that you knew you were gonna have. You were gonna sacrifice, right? Pisces is the 12th house of losses. Sun is there next to the card that represents surrendering, sacrifice, and the sign that talks about losses. But this is also talking about glamour too. Pisces is glamour as well. Taurus is glamour for sure. Venus, right? They have a Venus connection. Interesting. Okay, and you got the tower too in your fire placement, and the tower is talking about destruction. Like I said, if Pisces is you know wait, I said something about creation and something about destruction earlier. Sorry, I can't really. I think it might have been this one because the eighth house is the house of transformation, right? Mars rules the eighth house. That's destruction, right? Here's the destruction right here. Mars and Scorpio. Eighth house is Scorpio. That's your seventh house. Um, but then also, the eight strength card is the sun, and that's talking about creativity and creation, right? So this is creation and this is sacrifice, right? Right? You had to sacrifice something so that something else could be created. And the tower is here. This could be saying like this is Mars, so this is instinct. This is primitive, not primitive energy. It's what am I saying? My God. Um, this is also it's destruction, it's oppression as well. And so there could be the destruction of something that might have been oppressive that you may not have been attending to, right? And now the universe, the energy, the powers that be are coming in and knocking that down. You know what I mean? They're changing something, right? And it's happening swiftly, it's happening kind of fast, abruptly. Because of the abrupt change, right, you're getting back to work. You're getting yourself back into feeling powerful within what you can do again. You know what I mean? The Eight of Pentacles is the Sun in Virgo, right? And we got a Virgo card at the very beginning with the Hermit, and then now the very last card that I'm reading is Sun in Virgo. And this is just talking about doing the work and getting the work done, right? You might be having to roll up your sleeves and just start working very hard, right? Show a great level of strength and passion for your work, skillmanship as well. You're committed to creativity and creating more. I feel like you're also not really worried about, you know, it's the quality of the work. Right now you're getting back into the quality of your work. It's not about how much you can get done, you know what I mean? It's not about just the money as well. You have to just know quality. Sometimes you got to spend money to make money, and sometimes you have to get in there and just do it yourself. You know what I mean? Because this is kind of like doing it yourself. This is definitely doing it yourself and also helping others to get things done. The fool is out doing it on his own, right? The sun is doing it on his own. King of Pentacles really is kind of doing it on his own too, right? The ending, the ruin, right? Um, of whatever this situation is that has ended for you is good. You're not. You went from like the Queen of Swords, who is challenged by this Eight of Swords energy, and the very end card, right? The very end card. Sorry, I thought I was on the last one there, but this is this last one. Is the Ten of Swords, and this is the Lord of Ruin. It's talking about the end of something. Like this is ruin too. This is the end. This is a little big death, small death, petite mort. And then this is, the Lord of Ruin, which is also kind of like a little death card. So there are some transformations and there are some endings. There is some letting go of some things, some concepts, or maybe some ideas, right? Maybe some disillusions that you may have had. You might be having to let go of some perceptions that may have weakened you, uh, right? Because sometimes our thought process will weaken us. It's kind of like how people who are racist are weak because like they're not going to be able to experience the world in its full glory or its abundance because they're closing themselves off from something because like they just can't change their concepts or their perception because of what's been indoctrined, right? All right, Taurus, I'm going to leave you here with this. And, there'll be a different message in the next reading, which is going to be your part two with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Follow me on Instagram, Providence Tarot. I'm also NYC Kendrick NYC, and The Tongue Pot. I'll be reading at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery at 230 East 14th Street. Between 2nd and 3rd Avenues here in New York City in the East Village, Union Square area. Okay? Take advantage of that 20 for 20 special, 20 minutes for $20. Email providencetarotKendrick@gmail.com. Okay, bye you guys. Sorry about the glitches before at the beginning of the video. Mercury retrograde. And this has been your Morgan Greer reading for July and August of 2019. I'll see you guys later, okay? Get out and have some fun, you know. Maybe get in some close times. Like, invite friends over to your house for like wine and drinks or something, or like a movie, romance, rom com. You know what I mean? That type of thing. All right, Taurus. You like doing that anyway, inviting people over to the house for food and stuff. See you later.